Yeah, I understand it. I'll be speaking slowly because I'm not non-native Englishman, so it's your advance because my speech would be maybe not less but more understandable because of my slower pace, slower tempo. Please don't take example from my collocations and phrasal verbs and so, but the content is important. Our topic is how to gain your targets, your secret or open dreams. I must say at first I am fond of people like you traveling here over the ocean and trying to fulfill your needs, to fulfill your dreams, and maybe to have a satisfactory life, to earn some money, the more the better, and so I'll be your friend, and I like to be about 40 minutes long. That's the duration of our lecture. Your friend and your helping person. At first, mastering English, that's a condition that is necessary but not sufficient. There are many other conditions how to succeed in language and in life, but this is, as I've said, necessary. Some more additional conditions are needful, but this is crucial. If you study, there is something I can call your daily philosophy. A couple of sentences, about 10 of them, which is important to repeat for you maybe every morning, every evening. At first, I'm going to tell it to you, and then I'm going to pass you handouts where there is everything written. So, not necessary to write quickly, because you'll have it written. So, how is it? The first, I'm convinced that the fairly good mastery of foreign language is fortunately always based on hard work and self-restraint. I don't agree with people who say that you can somehow go around it or simply miracles don't exist in this area. Second, the pain or the feeling of severe problems from time to time could be squeezed into much shorter period than has been common so far. That's the first advantage. And the second one, you can go through it with a smile on your lips, with pleasure, zeal, and as if it were the most enjoyable activity. Everything. Fourth, what about the best method? My opinion is following. There are lots of methods in professional literature, on the internet, and so on and so on. If you don't stop, if you endure, practically each normal method would work. If you stop, none will help. Last, from your daily philosophy, there is a big heap of motivation in each of us, in each of you. You feel the motivation well when meeting wonderful life somewhere here or so, all your possibilities and so. Your motivation is somehow lost when sitting over textbook with bad, toilsome, tiring drills. However, the motivation is not lost. From time to time, it's necessary to have a little help from outside to inflate it. And about this information, it will be our short lecture. So, getting handout, the normal reaction is to have a look here and here, what interesting is there. Please, don't do it, because we are speaking about concentration, and there is maybe one of the biggest enemies of concentration, and it is distraction. If one half of your concentration is devoted to reading, and the second half to listening, it's no use, it's no sense of the first and of the second as well. Please, when you get the handout, it's your own, you can write down everything between lines and so. Please Try to read for short only the first page, and then after I tell you, then you can turn it over. So, if you'd like to help me, one for you and next one. Others. Yeah, they are here. Okay. Say, teacher, tell us. Let's use your strong will. Exert your strong will, exert your endurance, and everything will be okay, you'll be successful. Maybe yes, maybe no. Have a look at the page 2. And let's talk about what exactly is a psychical will. Will. It is something when you grit your teeth like that and you say to yourself, I must swim along the whole Bondi Beach. I must climb up Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world. I must, I don't know, do the homework which is more than, I don't know, how many pages. To exert one's will means to say or declare to yourself, the fifth line, you simply or I simply must do it. It's my plan, my task, my important intention. However, this is good at the beginning, in your state of starting enthusiasm, but in many cases it is not enough. On the rest of the page 2 and on the page 3 there is a short story about Mr. X, a typical man or a woman who wants to master English. Please try to read it over. I give you roughly 4 minutes because it is not any exercise for 10 people because you are more than 30 or so. It's not possible to explain all the unknown words. If you read it only superficially, only so quickly, never mind, I give you a summary after your reading. So, you have 4 minutes, try to reach negative example of Mr. X trying to learn English, which are consequences of exerting one's will. At some stage, Mr. X exerted strong will, but the result was not so positive. Please, you have 4 minutes, read it. The rest of page 2. And anybody? Yes? No? This is analysis. Another example. Imagine the situation when everything is high. Not only something, but everything is high. I'd like to tell you a story about the best live performance of one famous conductor and violoncello player. Violoncello is a musical instrument, like violin, a bigger one, with a spike, and like violoncello. Yeah? His name was Mstislav Rostropovich, Russian violinist. And at the end of his career, he was asked, Maestro, when and where was your greatest performance in your whole life? And he answered, I know it perfectly. It was on the 28th of August 1968. This data is very important for history of my country, of the Czech Republic, because at that day we were invaded by Soviet Union, and for next 20 years everything was spoiled, or our hopes devastated and destroyed, and we weren't able to study. Even we weren't allowed to travel abroad and study English. Oh, terrible. And of course, Mr. Rostropovich, a very fair man, very skilled, star, yeah, liked and loved Czech citizens. He had many friends in Czech capital Prague, and he was used to success. Every time, every concert. At the beginning, standing ovation. At the end, standing ovation and calling bravo many, many times. And suddenly, in the evening, on the 21st of August, 68, he had a concert in Royal Albert Hall in London. Here, Royal Albert Hall. One of the most famous halls, like Carnegie Hall in New York, Royal Albert Hall in London. And it was concerto for violoncello and orchestra, written by famous Czech composer, Antonín Dvořák. Concerto written by Antonín Dvořák. Well, imagine famous violoncellist coming in front of auditorium. Normally, year after year, he was used for standing ovation at the beginning, and suddenly they whistled, they threw tomatoes, and they cried, Soviet Union, Soviet soldiers go out from the Czech Republic. So what to do? He stood there saying nothing, and he knew that if he said only one word, in the sense, that's not me, I am not this occupying soldier, I like this country, he would never see his wife and his two daughters, because they would be sent to Siberia and he would never see them. So it was impossible for him to speak, to express his feelings by words. It was impossible for him to express his feelings by gestures or mimics. But there was one way remaining how to express it, and it was through his music, his performance. He has maximum of I+, positive emotions, positive motivations. He wanted to play. He was furious, upset, gutted, yeah, what his countrymen did. He had a fantastic habit, everyday training, many hours. He had a bit of will. He had fantastic tool, and circumstances in Royal Albert Hall were fantastic as well. The performance of his whole